Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and this is The Interview. And today we're going to be talking all about songwriting with my dear friend Brad Example. Here's a track from Brad. It's called Wanted Posters. Let's oge.
Casualties of war. All the signs that said turn around right now, we ignored. Slipped in through the back door, wrote our names up on the wall. You can't catch us, we won't be coming back here no more. We're the dreamers, believers, bound the war, marched right in, died 1,000 times to just keep coming. Right back again, can't stop the deadly clock from ticking. It's coming for us all. All these scars are like works of art, wanted posters on the walls. We'll burn this whole town down. We shared our story with the world, written in blood on our skin. A tragic comedy, no way to nowhere, and so when it begins. Sold our souls to the pawn shop, threw our tickets in the wind. We ain't stopping for no one. Ride these roads paved with sin. We're the dreamers, believers, found a war, march right in. Died 1,000 times, just keep coming. Right back again, can't stop the deadly clock from ticking. It's coming for us all. All these scars are like works of art, wanted posters on the walls. We'll burn this whole town down. Back to you. If I had a ship, I'd sail the deadly seas and find you. There are no roads that won't lead me right to you. And in the end, it's you and me, and we'll do it all again. Cause we're the dreamers, believers, bound a war, march right in. Died 1,000 times and just keep coming. Right back again, can't stop the deadly clock from ticking. It's coming for us all. All these scars are like works of art, wanted posters on the wall. We are the dreamers, believers, found a war and march right in. Died 1,000 times and just keep coming. Right back again, can't stop the deadly clock from ticking. It's coming for us all. All these scars are like works of art, wanted posters on the walls.
Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome to the show. That was Brad Example, our guest today, and it was Wanted Posters. And boy, do you really... I've got new cans. I don't know. I really haven't talked about it much on the show here. I've got new headphones. And there are 250 ohm cans. So they need a good driver to drive them. And let me tell you something. No, this is no casting aspersions on my friend Bradley there. But when you hear a song that was recorded long ago and with kind of lower production than what Brad produces now, you can hear it in the tweeters. It's so weird when you've got really good cans. Look at Brad. He's got his mouth hanging open. I can see him waiting to come on. Now, you all doing well out there? If there's no dogs, I'm out, says Mazzy. Well, we ate them all. Can you believe it? I had a Haitian family over that. What am I talking about? Did anybody see just quickly that the Haitians they've created a lawsuit? How cool, man! I hope they win. I really hope they win. So we normally do the hellos at about the 30-minute mark of the interview, but we got Brad on today. We're talking songwriting because it's been Songtember. Now you guys know Brad has been on this show so many times. Brad is like probably the guest I've had on more than anybody else. Yeah. Because he's just super talented and he's just funny as all hell. And nearly every story that he tells ends in him jizzing on somebody's tits. It's so good. And maybe we'll get one of those stories out of him today. Who knows? But let's bring him on and we'll do hellos. We'll call your names out and all that stuff. All right, let's do the thing. Where is he? Let's unmute him. Brad, hi.
Jade, hi, it's me, Bradley.
It's you, Bradley. It's me, Jade Bradley. Nice to meet you, Bradley.
Hi, Jade. It's me, Bradley.
For those of you who don't know,
so funny thing that you brought that up. That song was recorded with my ex-girlfriend. So she sang, like would sing in the car and stuff, and I thought, oh, she has such a really pretty voice and she can sing. So I got back to the house and I quickly wrote the song down, and then I recorded it in GarageBand. We had a really shitty iRig mic, and it was like when GarageBand wouldn't save your settings. So I had mixed it, and then I closed the program, and then I opened it up the next day and exported it, thinking it would save all the settings, and it didn't. So the export I got wasn't what I had mixed the night before. But I also had to do, so we got the vocal tracks done, and then I had to do a clone of Willie.
A what? Hang on.
Which was...
Is this a sex position?
It's a canister.
Oh, God.
Full of, like plastic mold.
Right.
So...
Oh, no.
Okay, so hold on. Mom and Grandma have to plug your ears.
Dear, oh dear.
So, plug your ears. So I had to put it in there. First I had... Hang on.
Whoa. Hang on. Just so everyone knows, put what in there, Brad?
Oh, my whizzer.
Is that what you call it? Your whizzer?
Yeah, the whizzer.
Oh, man, we've started off.
So,
yeah, go.
So I had to stay hard the whole time that it's in this plastic mold stuff. And so that was, and I had to put the couch and the coffee table side by side, and then I had to lay on it, and then I had to put this tube over it and wait for it to harden, and then pour the mold into it left a form.
Good God.
And then you pour a mold and you pour more liquid inside it, and then you put the little vibrator part in there, and then it eventually hardens, and then you crack it all apart, and it clones it's called Clone-A-Willy. So it clones your actual Willy.
Oh. So anyway,
that's what happened. Those are the memories of that song.
Right. So we're talking about songwriting today, everybody. And Brad, every time he's on, can I just tell you guys? So, all right. Firstly, do you still have that injected?
I don't have it. No.
Oh,
she may still have it.
Right.
She may still have it.
Right.
I don't know.
Or some weirdo might have it.
It could be anywhere.
There's some guy living. There's some guy living under a bridge.
That's a possibility.
He's probably eating his dinner with it.
Oh, it was a difficult task.
Oh,
let me tell you. It was so hard to do, like, because I had to lay in between the couch and the coffee table so that everything was pointing down, and then I had to put it on, slide it. It was so weird. It was really weird.
So, folks, the problem was with that song that Brad got sidetracked and had to stick his dick in a mold injector, and now some rando is tooling himself with Brad's injected dick. Right. So,
Yeah.
songwriting. So, hang on. How did that? So because of that, I'm completely lost. I don't know. Now I don't know how that story relates to the recording anymore.
That's when we did this. We did the song
Right,
and the
right.
Clone of Willie at the same time.
Right. That's an art. You know,
Yeah,
I sit here and go, how the hell am I going to do a live stream and record vocals at the same time in front of people? You made a rubber dick and made a song.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it was awesome.
well,
It was really awesome, actually.
can I just tell you guys? So, if you don't know, this is Brad Example, everybody. He
Hi,
is.
I'm Bradley.
He is one of my best friends. I chat with this guy every day. We talk for hours every day. And that's why my mind is utterly bent out of shape and warped and gone. I'm going to wake up in a mental institution going, help me, because I hang out with Bradley every single day. And this is just a normal conversation. Can I just say, before this show started, Brad's having trouble with his computer. And he can only hear voice for some reason with Windows 11. He can't hear music. And we've tried everything since he's got this new computer that we crowdfunded for him. Anyway, 7 minutes before the show, he rings Microsoft. And he's on the phone to some guy at Microsoft. And I'm sitting here going, 6 minutes till the show, and he's sitting there going, "G'day, buddy. I don't have much time. I'm about to go live on the internet on Zoom, and I can't get. I can hear my voice. I can hear the voice, but I can't hear the music. But you'll have to get to sort out the problem quick because I'm about to go live, everybody." And I'm just sitting here going, "What the fuck is going on? This is such a Brad thing to do."
Off the phone.
6 minutes before a live stream, dude. You are just an animal.
They called me. I left my number and they called me. I thought they'd call me like way later, but I didn't think they'd call me right away.
Right.
That's customer service.
It's customer service. When you said I just got a phone call from Microsoft, I'm thinking it's some guy from like Africa going, "Hello, I am from Microsoft. You need to go to Target and get some gift cards." I'm thinking you're going to go, "Jade, I have to go. I've got to get some gift cards." More gift cards.
Not again.
I already sent you $10,000 worth of gift cards.
Yeah.
Holy shit. All right.
Yeah.
So, what is going on? I have no idea. Brad, I normally get people to give us your elevator pitch. Tell everybody at home, who are you? What have you done musically? And how many rubber dicks have you made? Go for it. Floor's yours.
Well, I made one Clone of Willie, and I started writing songs when I was 12. So I started to learn how to play bass first. I got a bass for my 12th birthday and started playing bass because I went to my friend's house in my neighborhood, and he had a drum kit, and his dad was in a band, so they built a rehearsal space in their basement so his dad's band could jam in there. So one Saturday, I found myself in the jam space with all of my friends, and all of them, there was about 6 guys, they all played guitar, and there was one drummer, and he was actually a better guitar player and vocalist than he was a drummer. And I went home. They were playing Black Coffee and Paranoid and War Pigs. Black Coffee by Black Flag, and War Pigs and Paranoid. And they played those 3 songs over and over and over again all Saturday afternoon. So I went home that night and I learned the bass parts to the whole Paranoid album. So then I went back the next day and started to jam and play, and now I'm the bass player. So then the third time I went over, I brought my own songs that I had started to write, and said, "Okay, now we're going to play songs that I've written," because I couldn't sound like anybody else. Like I didn't sound like, you know,
Anybody else?
yeah, I didn't sound like Tom Petty or Bruce Springsteen or whatever, Keith Morris from Black Flag. I didn't Landon Rollins. I didn't sound like any of those guys. So I just thought, okay, if I play my own songs, I can't do it wrong. I can't make mistakes. I can't suck at doing my own songs. I can be good at this. And then everybody started to look to me for music to play because it was simple and it was easy to arrange and easy to organize. And it just came out of me really easily.
Right. If this was a real elevator pitch and I was the CEO
Oh,
in the elevator,
yeah, no, yeah,
I'm
I
going.
forgot it was the
I'm
elevator
looking
pitch.
at my watch and I'm going. You know what, buddy? You're fired. What the fuck do you do in my
yes, I
business?
forgot it was an elevator pitch. I'll just say I'm a country punk rocker. I'm a punk rocker that plays country music. I live in a small town, and that's my elevator pitch. I still believe in sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yep. So I could have done better.
That's the elevator pitch.
This guy. Like,
But
if you don't know,
I was actually telling the whole story.
I know. You're going right back to the beginning. I thought you were going to like tell us how you fell out the womb. But no, in short, this dude, Brad Example, has played with some rad bands. He's toured, and he's a bona fide rock star. A bona fide rock star. Nearly every gig this guy would play would be absolutely butt naked on stage. Recently, he did a live performance, a reunion with his original band, and holy shit, what was it? 20? Was it 20 years? Is it?
Yeah, 20th anniversary.
20th anniversary.
This year would have been our 25th anniversary.
Right, but you did the anniversary show. You're basically, you ruined you can't hardly walk. Your hips ruined, all this stuff, and you got up there still as a rock and roller, barely able to fucking walk, and you still just kicked it like a motherfucker. It was awesome. So,
Yeah, thank you.
I look up to Brad so much. He's an amazing songwriter. Anyway, I'm going to stop licking the ass now because you don't deserve it. So let's talk about. God, I don't know where this show's going to go today, and I love every second of it. So basically, do you remember the first song, Brad, that you ever wrote?
Yes.
What was it called? Oh, God help us.
Don't Let the People. So Dustin and if you guys cover your ears again. Well, I have to.
He's got his mum and grandma in the kitchen.
Yeah. The day I wrote my first song was the day I got my first BJ. At the same day. She came over to rewrite the lyrics in legible handwriting, and next thing I know, it happened.
Right.
I was like, oh my God, if this is what writing songs does, I'm going to write a song every day. Every single day, I'm going to write a new song.
Is that why you haven't written a song in 2 years?
I think it might be. I think it might be.
That was a mean dig, wasn't it? Jeez. So, what was the song about?
Well, I've written songs, but I haven't recorded them.
Yeah, you haven't recorded. I meant recorded. Yeah. So, what was the song about? Please indulge us.
It was the lyrics were
God.
horrible, and it was and funnily, Dustin and I wrote it together. Dustin from the Surfers, but we didn't end up in a band together. Dustin ended up playing football, and Mike York, who is Dustin's best friend and my best friend, we ended up in a band together. So Dustin went away to Pembroke to visit his bio dad, and York and I put together a band. That's whose house we were at, whose dad had a rehearsal room built in the basement, was Mike York. So he ended up becoming the lead singer and the vocalist. And then my other friend from down the street became the drummer, and we became Room 206. And that was my first real band, and the band I was in that put out a record and put out music and toured and did some cool stuff. And we were really young.
Do you remember the girl's name who gave you that BJ?
Yeah. Yep, Aaron Smiley.
Oh, Doctor. He says her whole
Yeah.
name. He says her...
Yeah, she's the nurse now at the hospital.
Oh, which hospital? Can you can you give
Yeah,
everybody
in the
her
suit.
home address as well, Brad?
Thank you, Aaron. I love you, baby.
I'm quitting the internet. I'm finished. See you later. It's time to go. It's over. What is going on? First names are fine, Brad. Fuck. Now I've got my head. I've got to get out of here. I've got my headphones caught in my fucking chair now, you fucking asshole. Oh, give me a sec. What have you done? Right. So,
I
anyway,
wish we could make them laugh
well,
like that.
that was my channel, and we'll see you all later.
Jade.
We can hear you,
Yeah,
Grandma.
so the song. Oh yeah, they're just appalled. They think I'm disgusting.
Yep.
So, the lyrics were, "Don't let the people tell you what's right. Don't let the people tell you what's wrong. Doesn't matter anyway, as long as we're together each and every day. And let me tell you, it only rains once in heaven, baby. It rains many times in hell. And when I think about it, I guess we didn't do so well. I only wanted to get close to you and do the kind of things that lovers do. But if you listen to them, it all goes away. Don't let the people tell you what's right." And that's how the song went. And I still remember it. We wrote 3 songs that day. That one, one called "Like a Family" that I can barely remember, and another one I can't remember at all. But anyway, Dustin's handwriting was illegible. You could not read it. Still to this day, you can't read it. It's like he's got Down syndrome and writing with the left hand. So he's way, like, it's bad. So this girl came over and rewrote the lyrics on a piece of paper in a legible handwriting. So, but anyways, we recorded those songs on a cassette tape. So then I took the cassette tape to Dave, who lived right next to the school. Dave Bahan, my guitar player that plays in the Surfers and played in Room 206. Later, he joined the band later. We had already been a band for about a year and a half before Dave joined, and brought it to Dave. Dave wanted to play heavier stuff. So me and Dave's cousin Rob started a band, and we started playing like just heavier stuff: Sabbath, Black Flag, Ozzy, Circle Jerks, just easy stuff that we could play. And then but then we started writing too, but we didn't sing. I didn't sing, so we had no singer.
Right.
But we kept writing. I just kept writing, even though we had no singer.
I'm glad you kept writing. This happens every time you come on, Brad. Every single time. So, when was this written? How old were you when this? Oh God, why am I asking this? How old were you?
We were 13 at the time. I was 13. Dave would have been 12. Dave's a year younger than me.
All right.
So, and Robbie is the same age as Dave. And we called ourselves Better Than Mayhem because there was a band down the street called Mayhem. So we just called ourselves Better Than Mayhem because they sucked.
That's great.
So
I love,
yeah.
You know what I love? Band stories from rehearsal rooms. Can I tell you a band story, Brad?
Yeah.
We used to, in this band I was in, Running with Scissors, the guitarist in my band, who I'm not going to say his name, anyway, he started this project where he would take the piss out of a bunch of bands in Melbourne, and he made these recordings about them, and he did all the voices, and he took the piss out of their songs, and he started distributing these little audio things around secretly around to mates, and somehow they got out to the whole greater Melbourne music community. And the bands who these songs were about, unfortunately, got to hear them. And some of the people they were about got the joke and went, haha, that's funny. But some of the bands were very serious hair metal bands, very serious about their sunsilk in their hair and, you know, Pantene, and they smelt like princesses. But anyway, and some of them found out about it. And one of these bands called Anarion found out. And we called the actual file of the song was called Anal Rion. And one day at rehearsal, we were jamming, and Anal Rion were in the room next door jamming with us. And they heard they we were next door, and then they went out the front and wanted to punch our heads in. So we went out there and confronted them, and they didn't do anything because it would have messed up their hair. But anyway,
we had a similar situation. Our first gig, because it was all skate punks, but we had a band open that was a hair metal band, and all the skate punks put chairs right at the front of the stage with their backs to the stage, and they just sat there with their fingers up like this while the band played their set. It was the most awkward set I have ever seen in my life. They were booed, they were yelled at, they were like, I don't know why they were even on the bill. I don't know who put them on the bill, but they were called Doc Savage, and they were terrible. They played like Trickster and like Silver Bullet or whatever they're called, some weird band. All this stuff, like, just terrible.
What is
Dream Theater?
What is it about hair metal bands that never get the joke? You know, they're always super uptight, and they're supposed to be like bad boys, and they've got chicks who give them head everywhere. And here's you, the guy at 13. Oh God, I can't believe I'm saying this. I just said the age, getting head while he's around the song. And the bad boys, the hair bands, they're like getting driven to rehearsal by their mum and using their dad's amplifier, and everything's paid for. And they're not bad boys at all. They're always wankers. They're always rich kids who, it's always the way. It just is what it is. Yeah. Nothing is what it seems.
And you know what's funny is then they ended up trying to copy what we were doing.
Right.
But because everybody was so authentic in the scene that I was in, they could sniff the inauthenticity. They could smell it. Like,
right.
You know, you come back tomorrow, it was the same as Man. They came back the next day after they saw us bring 500 people to a gig, and they could only pull 10. The next gig they played, they did all Ramones songs, thinking, oh, well, if we do punk rock, then all the punk rock kids are going to come. No, they knew from the start that you're full of shit, and you weren't, this isn't the music that you like or listen to. You're just doing this because you see the trend going this way.
Yeah, you can't.
And people could sniff it out.
Yeah, you can't fool an audience, can you?
No.
An audience can sniff bullshit. They can smell it straight away.
Yeah.
If it's a band full of wankers, now, not everybody has the bullshit detector, right? Look at half of America. Half of America doesn't have it. But
when we toured America, most of the bands that we played with sucked. It felt like they were stuck in like 1994. We found better music on the East Coast of Canada than we did anywhere in the U.S. The bands were like 10 years behind in the U.S., it felt like. The bands that Jagger put us with were doing like instrumentals and like Smashing Pumpkins covers and like weird stuff that was 10 years old. But the East Coast of Canada was like, you could throw a nickel and hit a killer band that sounded like Guided by Voices or Pavement or like cool bands that were good. And, you know, like Elevator to Hell was from out there, and Sloan was from out there, and like all these great Canadian bands that were actually forward thinking and doing things that were different all came from the East Coast. Like, and all through the US, it was just terrible. I bet you we saw, out of maybe 150 bands, I bet you we saw 3 really good ones.
I'm going to play another one of your songs. I'm going to play Angry Lullaby, and then we'll come back and say hello to everybody, and we'll continue this discussion. And hopefully we'll get around to songwriting, because that's what I think your strength
that's why we're here.
apparently. So,
I get sidetracked
oh,
sometimes.
no, you get sidetracked very easily. This is this is Angry Lullaby by Brad Example. Let's Oj.
The revolution's on television, taking sides with their tribe. The streets are all on fire. It's about fucking time. Instagram outlaws, plastic pretenders paradise. Conscientious objector, it's us versus them, riding the flames at night. Fold 'em up, cash your chips in. Your time's up, you won't win. The streets speak for themselves. Better pull up or get left behind. Molotov cocktails through Gucci windows. Police stations on fire. Bank is burning, there's cameras everywhere. All the hipsters wanna be there. Get on YouTube, be a big star. Get 10 million views. Be an insta-famous influencer. And accidentally change the world. Fold 'em up, cash your chips in. Your time's up, you won't win. The streets speak for themselves. Better pull out or get left behind. Fold 'em up, cash your chips in. Your time's up, you won't win. The streets speak for themselves. Better pull up and get left behind. Maybe it's all in vain. Maybe nothing will change. Big brother's always watching, keeping score on how you behave. Always searching for a remedy. Better living through chemistry. The man needs you numb so you don't rise up and burn it down again. Fold 'em up, cash your chips in. Your time's up, you won't win. The streets speak for themselves. Better pull out or get left behind. Fold 'em up, cash your chips in. Your time's up, you won't win. The streets speak for themselves. Better pull up or get left behind.
Brad Example, Angry Lullaby, The Revolution. It's on television.
Yeah, I wrote that during the riots, the George Floyd riots.
I'm just letting it fade out.
Nothing I like better than watching TV and seeing cop cars on fire. It's my favorite show on TV.
You rebel. You absolute
That's
rebel.
the best show on TV.
Yeah. Let's say hello to everybody here. Hello, David Cartret. Hello, Lux. Thomas Christ. We've
Hello,
got
Dave.
Ali in the
Hello, Lex.
house.
Hello, Thomas.
Falcon Blues
Hi,
is
Ali.
here. We've got
Hey,
Jenny
Falcon Blues
Jolivet, Chad
Hi,
Freeman.
Jenny.
Chad,
Hey, Chad.
Pete Johns.
John, hey,
Right,
buddy.
right. Viv Sparrow.
Hey, Viv.
Okay. Easy Now 27.
Easy now.
Okay, you forgot the 27.
27.
Okay. Chad Freeman.
Hey,
We
Chad.
could be here all day, folks. Thomas Christ. Did we do
Hey,
Thomas?
Thomas.
There's more people here. If I haven't got you, please type something in the chat so I can find you. If you want me to call you out, I saw Ed Zielinski, Dave Fox is here as well. I'm sure there's heaps of Blue Groove 777. I saw there's lots of other people here, but I haven't been able to see your names. I can't scroll up. Kim Hudson. Hello, Kim. Howdy do.
Hey, Kimmy.
All right. Let's keep going. So we know how that song came about. Now, I'm going to play you something because we talked about your first song. So just because this is about songwriting, now Songtember's been going on, and during Songtember, I came across a whole bunch of recordings of my own from 1995 of me just playing acoustic guitar and singing.
We talked about your first song.
What was that?
Oh no, it was my phone.
All right. Is that your text message thing?
No, it's this show on there so I can hear the music.
Right. Okay. There's no music playing at the moment.
Yeah, I know. I had to shut it off.
So anyway, I found a whole bunch of music of mine from 1995 when I got my first 4-track, and I used to bounce tracks, and I'd never played acoustic. I'd never written acoustic songs. I was always in metal bands and jazz fusion, death metal bands, kind of thing. Lots of messed up shit. And then I got an acoustic guitar and I bought a 4-track and I started recording a whole bunch of songs. I can come over here, do this. There we go. And I found all these tracks, and I've decided. So I think there were 7 tracks on this little recording I made, and I've decided once Songtember's over, I'm going to re-record all of these tracks back from 1995. I'm very excited about it, but you can just, I do love going back and hearing this stuff to see what I was writing about, what was wrong with my brain at the time, and yeah, let's find one. So this is called Institution of Loss, and it's about my girlfriend at the time. Her parents gave her a whole bunch of money and said, go and, you're young, go and see the world and forget your partner, just go and see the world. Of course, I was too young. I didn't have the money to go travel with her. So this song was about saying goodbye to my girlfriend at the airport. Let me play it. You can't hear it, Brad. So I think it's a really good thing to go back and listen to old stuff that you've done, and not necessarily go back and re-record it or anything like that, but to see how far you've come as a songwriter. Brad, do you go back and listen to any of your really, really old stuff and take influence from it, or use it to inspire what you're recording now and techniques that you do now in recording?
Well, yes and no. I have a hard drive with probably about 40 songs on it that I recorded on a Fostex D90. It was the first hard drive digital recording unit. Like it was the step up after my Fostex 8-track quarter-inch reel-to-reel. So it was the first digital recording unit that I had owned.
Yeah, they're
And
rad.
I had a really hard time with it because the plugging in, it was just a nightmare, that thing. So I ended up selling it. And when Apple came out with the iPad, then I said, I got to learn this because this is so much easier than inputs halfway in, give you headphone monitoring halfway, then I push it all the way in to record, halfway out to listen back, all this weird stuff, and a snake. And I had to plug everything into the snake, and 8 in and 8 outs, and it was just, I hated it. I hated it. By the time I got it all set up, my inspiration was gone. But I also sit in my chair here and I write songs on my guitar that I have hanging on my wall right here. And I put my phone on my desk and I record my fingers where my capo is and where my fingers are. And I record, like, I hum the melody that I'm thinking of. And then I put all of those onto a hard drive, and I have a folder with about probably close to 1,000 songs that are just a verse and a chorus, an intro, verse, and a chorus. And then I go back over them later, and I try to find ones that I'm feeling at the moment, like, oh, that one's kind of cool, I'll try that one. Then I'll relearn it, and then I'll try and write it out.
Are you
And then the songs that I did record, there's a few of them that I really like and I would really like to re-record. And then a bunch that are just not great.
Well, I think a lot of people can empathize with having songs that aren't great, because I have heaps of them. I have a list. I have a bunch of recordings of songs that will never see the light of day, because I'm super
Yeah, me too.
picky with this stuff. I mean, we're both Virgos. We both joke about the Virgo Club. Me, you, Russ. I have an idea. Ali, who's in the chat. We're all Virgos, and we get very. If it's not anywhere near scratch, it's out the door. So. And you play stuff to people sometimes and they go, why are you not using that song? That song's awesome. And it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It sucks. What do you think
Yeah.
is, in your opinion, what is the ingredients to make a really good song? Is it lyrics? Is it guitar? Is it a combination of both? What do you think personally? Then I'll tell you what I think of your music, what it is.
I focus on the lyrics the most because I like writing. I write a lot. So even if I'm not holding my guitar, I'm writing. I write a lot, a lot, a lot. I write for at least an hour or two a day, just mindless, numb, just expression, just to express myself. But I keep that muscle working all the time so that when I do grab my guitar and I do start writing lyrics, there's something there. And I know I can just pull from the random thoughts that I'm having, and they're going to be okay.
Do you think do you think the music behind the lyrics is as important? Do you think the chords, like, of course chords matter, but do they make the song, or is it about melody? Is it about lyrics? What I'm
Yeah,
trying to
I
say
think
is,
that,
because Willie Nelson has so many hits and they're all virtually the same chords. So
yeah,
is the music that important?
John Prine's the same thing. C, G, and D, and F, C, and G. There are guys now that are doing it, and there are guys from the 70s and 60s and 50s that were doing it. So those chords are always going to be there, and they're always going to be original to the point of view of the vocalist and the guy telling the story or singing the song or expressing himself or herself in some way. So even if the chords are simple and the melody is unique, it's, as long as the person listening feels that it's honest and it's not just fluff or just like full of shit, like we were talking about earlier, like the bullshit detector. You can tell if a band is really a punk rock band or if they're just a bunch of guys trying to capitalize on punk rock, or a band that's really experimental versus a band that wants to be experimental. Like thinks, oh, I love the boredom, so I'm going to try and do boredom type stuff, but they're not really into that, so they don't know what, and it just comes across as icky and inauthentic and not, you can feel it, like you just don't like it. So I think at the end of the day, the chords matter and your melody matters, but it's the lyrics that end up bringing people kind of to the table. And the beat too is really important, because since hip hop and people becoming more in love with hip hop and drums kind of getting pushed to the front of the mixes, people want to be able to bop their head to something. So as long as they can bop their head, the lyrics come later. So then they'll discover the lyrics. Oh, he said something there. I caught that. And then the next time they hear it, they go, oh, I caught another line. That, and I really like that. And then the next time they hear it, they catch another line. But they don't catch the lyrics on the first listen. The only thing they focus on the first listen is like the beat, and if the music is pretty or sounds good.
I think I fall in the same camp as you with that. When I had Mike Injo on the show and we talked about songwriting at the start of this month, I felt the same way. So when I was younger and playing in metal bands, all the lyrics I wrote didn't mean anything. Like, and it wasn't because there's they didn't mean anything because I had nothing to fucking say, and it wasn't that. Because I was young and I hadn't lived any experiences. Of course, I'd lived experiences. I didn't know who I was. So that was my own struggle. So I was just writing about things, about topics that I'd read about. So it was rather boring, and I felt like I never actually connected with people as an artist through that time because of this. Where I hear people say all the time, like, because there's a lot of young kids now who have hit singles. Right? They're like 14, 15 years old, and people go, hang on a minute, how can this kid know anything about love?
Yeah.
And that's bullshit, because kids, of course, know about the love, right? They're brought up by families, so they understand the concept of love, and they may have lost somebody in their life, so their heartbreak and all that stuff and emotions. No matter how old you are, you have that stuff. So that argument's moot. Fuck that shit off. That's bullshit. The thing is, I felt when I was trying to write stuff, I didn't really have anything to say. But then as soon as I went transition and came out and all this stuff, I actually had gone through emotional experiences. I felt like I was authentic enough to write stuff that meant shit. So, and it was then that I started having people come to gigs and actually connecting with me lyrically and going, oh, that song, what you sung there, that really resonated with me. And I never had any of that all the way up until that moment. All my songs were stupid and they were shocking and stuff like that. I think, excuse me, one of the reasons I like your music is firstly the lyrics, because you are a phenomenal songwriter. I know exactly what you're feeling and what's going on with you when I hear your lyrics. Your vocal style is very, very, very unique. And again, the music's just there. Like, I find that a lot these days. As long as the music's there to support the artist, that's why I like your music. And hello to Viv Sparrow, I saw in the chat earlier. Ed B Metal, g'day to you. So do you think there's an element of luck when you write songs, Brad?
Yeah, 50% luck, 50% talent. And by talent I mean working out the muscles you need to work out in order to be present the moment your pen hits the pad and your fingers hit the fretboard. So you know that as soon as as soon as I grab my guitar, I'm going to play something that's unique to me, that isn't a derivative of something I've heard. It's going to be unique to me, and the lyrics that I put to this are going to be unique to me and not derivative of something I've heard. And it's going to speak to me, about me, and for me. So it's working on those muscles all the time, so that when it's just like going to the shooting range and shooting at a bullseye, so that when you do get in the bush and you're hunting a buck, and you're going to shoot the buck the first shot, you know it because you've practiced and you've been to the shooting range every day for the last 12 years, you're going to hit that buck. And that's, I think, the same with songwriting is it's the luck of hitting it, but the work has to be put in first.
Yeah. Do you, when you write, now I know with your stuff too, there's complexity and layers. And I try and do the same stuff. Like I'm currently doing a song for Songtember that's not going to make Songtember, right? So we'll get into.
I don't think mine will either.
We'll get into
I
time.
think mine will be a bit late too.
Yeah, and we'll get into time pressure as well and talk about this kind of stuff. Now I'm doing a collaboration with Viv Sparrow, okay? And when I wrote this song, the song initially began as I'm writing this song for Viv, about Viv. And then as I was writing it, I found that yes, I'm still writing it about Viv and for Viv, but at the same time, I'm writing it for me as well. There's something in there that I'm writing for me. And then as it progressed more and more, it became I'm writing it for you also. So there's me and Viv that it's for, and it's for everyone who hears it. And I was able to do that, I think, all at the same time. It's a really hard thing to be able to do. Do you write? Are there layers of complexity to the way you write? Do you get that deep in the minutia of trying to add in stuff like callbacks and things that not only are going to mean something to you, but on another level they're going to mean something to someone else?
Yeah, sometimes in some songs, I definitely have callbacks. It was one of the first things I learned in English when I was writing, like writing short stories and stuff, was that your first paragraph and your last paragraph have to tie in together somehow. So they have to be a mirror of each other in some way. So when I'm writing a song, I generally try to stay on point, but also because of the way I talk and the way I express myself, I always go on tangents. So I end up kind of going off on tangents halfway through a song and mentioning something else or bringing up a memory from somewhere else or an experience from another place, and then trying to tie that into the original thought or idea that I had. But I some stuff I just write surface level. This is what I'm feeling right now. This is a memory I have of a feeling that I'm writing about and what I'm going through. Like the song I have for Songtember is very surface level, like secrets are lies. If you have a secret, it's a lie, and that's the only reason why you're trying to keep it secret. And that's all it's about, and it's not anything else. You know, if you have a secret, it's just a lie. You're lying to yourself, or you're lying to somebody else and trying to keep it quiet. That's all it is. Or else you'd tell people what the secret is. So you can't, secrets aren't, secrets are never good. They're always dishonest.
Yeah. There's a lot of people lying to themselves, man. There's a lot of people who have to look in. I feel bad. I write a lot of songs about that too, about people who have to look in the mirror each day and cope. That's got to be really hard. And not all of us sit here on YouTube exposing everything. Even somebody like myself who sits here every day, and I tell you guys way too much stuff. But there still are things I hold back here on YouTube.
Yeah,
because,
me too.
And doesn't mean it's a secret, right? Because if I was talking to you off YouTube, it's no problem. Out it comes. Normally on a walk with me, it would. But you've got to have some kind of things in your life that you just aren't sitting on YouTube talking about. So I think there's a lot of people walking around with secrets, and you know how you can tell what those secrets are? By who they hate, by who those people hate and who they verbalize and hate. That's normally what their secret is. That's what's the thing that they're yelling the most about, going, rah, 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 rah. It's like, oh, so that's what your secret is. It's
a distraction from the real issue of that is the problem.
Where are we? We are halfway. I'm going to play another one of your songs and we'll come back. So I'm choosing by random now. Now you've selected all these songs today. So I'm going to play Sorry State. Let's play this and we'll come back. So relax, enjoy, folks. This is, I guess I've got to have it queued up, don't I? I've got to be professional here. This is the boot scooting video clip. Oh yeah, and I mastered this one.
Have you ever been to a bar where they do that, where people line dance?
Yes.
It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
I watched it. I didn't get involved.
No, I didn't get involved either,
Yeah.
but I watched and it was incredible.
Yeah.
They had a different dance for each song. It was mind-blowing, and it was hundreds of people on the dance floor all doing the same moves for 4.5 minutes straight. No repeated moves, no repeated sections. Like, they had different moves for each of the words of the song. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I always wanted to write songs where people would line dance to them.
I always get excited when I see line dancing. It gets me pumped up, like Michael Flatley. When I see Michael Flatley, anyway, let's play this fucking song. This is Brad Example, Sorry State, Let's Oj.
I can't take any more of this, my luck is running out. I tried to keep my head up while the world's been knocking me out. I can take the punches and get back up, I gotten up so many times. A big black cloud chases me down, story state's a state of mind. It's time that we say fuck it all, celebrate our mistakes. Drink one for the broken hearts and one for our sorry state. Come out from a cloud of purple smoke and get up off our knees. It's time we flip this script around and the sorry state we're in. What side I get up on, it's the wrong side of the bed. All the demons in my head are my only real friends. I'm hated by my girlfriend, my mistress, and my wife. So fuck it all, I got no regrets, this disaster is my life. It's time that we say fuck it all, celebrate our mistakes. Drink one for the broken hearts and one for our sorry state. Come out from a cloud of purple smoke and get up off our knees. It's time we flip this script around and the sorry state we're in. We say fuck it all, celebrate our mistakes. Drink one for the broken hearts and one for our sorry state. Come out from a cloud of purple smoke and get up off our knees. It's time we flip this script around and the sorry state we're in. It's time that we say fuck it all, celebrate our mistakes. Drink one for the broken hearts and one for our sorry state. Come out from a cloud of purple smoke and get up off our knees. It's time we flip this script around and this sorry state we're in.
I love line dancing, Brad. It's wonderful.
Love it. It looks awesome.
It does. It does. I wish I was there. I wish I was at that line dancing event so I could kick somebody in the back of the leg. Anyway, let's so let's talk about time pressure with songwriting. I think it's really important to talk about this at the moment because we're in the middle of Songtember, and every year, Pete Johns started this trend every year where Songtember happens. It used to be called September. I never call it September anymore. Where we encourage everybody to, as many people as possible, to record a song and put it out. It doesn't necessarily have to be on a distribution service. It can just be on YouTube or just on your Facebook page or wherever. It doesn't really matter, right? Just the idea is just to get something done.
Get it out there.
Yeah, just put it out there. Now, this year's been strange because, and I'm sure everybody's having different experiences. Every year, people have a different experience with their Songtember journey. Most years for myself, I've had no problem, and I've had some years where I've pushed really hard and put out a whole album and done a whole bunch of songs.
You did a Songtember. I think it was 2 years ago. I think you took. It was like 8-bar challenge or something.
That wasn't a Songtember. That wasn't a Songtember. That was another thing. No, that was another.
Oh, well.
That was a GarageBand Weekly episode. That one. Yeah, but anyway.
Oh, that was incredible.
That was the Octopussy song. It's on Slaps anyway. But I've had a lot of pressure in Songtember some years where I've done a whole album, had to get like 7 songs done in a month and done it. Got there, no problem. This year's felt strange. I've had a terrible Songtember. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I'm actually not going so bad because I've got a song finished. That's cool. And I've got another song which isn't going to be finished. And this is the first year that I'm not going to have something finished that I started in Songtember.
I think it's because this year you've actually put more heart into this song than you have in previous years. This song is actually, from what I've heard of it, and I've only heard it a few times, there's a lot of you and a lot of Viv and a lot of... it's an emotional song that's cathartic in a way where you feel it's like a healing kind of feeling. I don't really know what the words are to how to describe it, but I think you're putting a lot of yourself into it, and that's why you're frustrated with the time constraint and you're frustrated with Songtember itself. And you just want to make sure that when you're done the song, it's the way you envision it. And I think that's what's kind of threw you off a little bit.
It is. It's a little bit of that, right? Because like when you write something that you care about a lot, you want it to be really good, right? So time becomes nothing. And I know we live in this little community across many channels on YouTube, in this indie community, whatever you want to call it. There are a lot of time constraints people put on each other to get a song out, to be on Hippie Show or have some kind of premiere ready. So people put time constraints on themselves. I'm not like that. I've never been like that. If my song's not ready by the time someone wants it on their show, couldn't give a shit. It's all about the song. The song has to be fucking done. Here's the thing, Brad. Here's the other portion of it. Because I'm doing 2 songs. One song is a death metal song with a bunch of animals barking and meowing on it. And honestly, that song is going to be more popular than the one I've put all my heart into, because that's the way it works. Now, you've played in bands before, and you know this as well. You write an album in a band. There's a whole lot of songs on this album. There's 8 songs, and there's a couple of songs on this album that you go, I love these songs, and I reckon people are going to love them. And then you release that album, and people love the song that you hate.
Yeah.
Why do you think people do that? Why do you think people gravitate to the song that you don't necessarily think, or you didn't put in as much work into, and you think it's a throwaway song? Why do you think that happens? Because it's a consistent thing that happens with many, many bands.
It happens to everybody. Everybody complains about it. They always say that they always say, make sure your first hit is a song you like, because it's going to be a song you're going to be playing for the rest of your life, and you're going to have to play it every single night. So make sure you like it. And a lot of people end up with a hit that they don't like, and like Warrant with Cherry Pie, and the guy ends up killing himself. So, you know, I don't know what draws people to this. Like when you're writing the song you don't like, it's a struggle, and that's why you don't like it, because you struggled to get it finished. Like there's a song called That We Do that I have that's on our third record. I'm not going to say the name of it because I don't want people going over there to listen to it because I hate it. But I hate that song. And I've had numerous people come and tell me they love that song. And I hate it. I hate it.
Mm.
And I wrote it a long time ago, and it was just the producer of the album at the time was kind of digging at me saying, "Do you have anything old?" And so I played him that, and he said, "Let's record it." And we did, and people ended up liking it. And I think we played it live once or twice and then never again. And I never understood why anybody liked it. And I still can't figure out why anybody would like it or what draws people to that song. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
It's a weird thing. Like, it's kept me up for many hours, and I'm sure it's done for many artists. This issue, because you pour your heart into a song, and you write so deeply that you are covered in goosebumps and you cry. And for me, that's the perfect song for me. If it hits me emotionally, knocks me about, and I'm left just, then that is a great song for me.
Exhausted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it exhausts me, then. But then again, like we say on a lot of these shows where we do tutorials and talk about, getting better at recording and stuff, you should always be writing for yourself. And it always turns out, again, you can say it to the cows come home, write for yourself, make sure, and people will connect with it. But then you get thrown out. Like I explained this when Mike was on the show. We had this song called Septic Midas in my band Despise. The same story as what you just said then. We needed a song to throw on the recording. We had this dumbass bass line that was kicking around. We threw together a song in like fucking 20, 30 minutes, and it went on, and everybody loved it. And every gig we had to close with it because everybody was like yelling it all the way through. And it was just the worst song. It sucked. It showed none of our technical abilities. It wasn't catchy, in my opinion. It sucked. But, every time I play it to somebody now and tell them this story, guess what happens, Brad? They go, "That's a rad song." I'm like, no. Do you understand music?
Yeah.
Like, how can you like that shit? It's rubbish. Because now getting back to time constraints, now you haven't recorded a song, as Brad example,
Yeah,
for
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
What's been holding you back for the last 2 years?
Oh, lots of things. I think emotionally, I'm not mentally and emotionally, I've been writing a lot, like writing words a lot and filling pages and pages and pages of writing and coming up with cool little licks on my guitar that are the building blocks of great songs. And if I married them together, I'd have a new song every week. But I have my grandma living with me now. My mom's here. I got the dogs. My head's not in a space where I'm, I feel free to um, experiment with ideas and um, try different things. And so so the longer that has gone on, the harder it's been for me to dig myself out of this kind of hole that I've dug for myself and find the piece that I need to just do it and not worry about anything else. So it's not writer's block, but it is kind of. So it's just I've been in a funk where I'm in a lot of pain lately. It's hard to sit in my chair. I can't focus. Um, and it just keeps rolling over itself and getting worse like a snowball, just getting bigger and worse as time goes on. And I'm losing my ability to just write on a dime, like just take the chords and write the song. And I've worked with time constraints before, like with Universal Records, saying, the album has to come out on the 27th of October. And if you don't have it done, the album won't come out and we'll shelf it. So you have to have all the songs done by this time. So then you end up busting your ass trying to get the lyrics finished for all these songs that are going on the record. And sometimes the time constraint helps push you over that line and get you to where you need to go. And other times that time constraint, you can hear it ticking away in your ear and your page is empty and you can't get past it because you're overwhelmed with the time constraint and the pressure of having it done on time and having it done right, and having it done in a good enough way where you can be proud of it. Like I said, if it's going to be a hit, you better like it because you're going to have to play it at every show. So, you gotta make sure you like it, at the same time get it done in time, and at the same time make sure it's produced well, mixed well, sounds good, makes you look good, makes everybody that listens to it feel good. There's a lot that goes on and it just rolls over you and you end up feeling small and like I can't do this anymore. Like I just don't, maybe I don't have it anymore. Maybe I lost it. Maybe it's gone forever and I won't get it back. You never know what it actually is that is holding you back and constraining you.
Yeah, and on top of that, then you've got like the small stuff, the stuff. I got to pay my bills. What am I eating?
Yeah.
Am I getting enough sleep? Am I getting fat? Like all that stuff on top, just the general day-to-day shit. Does this girl like me? Am I perceived? Is my job satisfied? All these things as well contribute to the process of songwriting. And, that's why on this channel I try and talk about this stuff because it's fucking important. It's not just about learning a new DAW and sitting there have somebody tell you which knob to turn. That's nothing. That's the simple shit. That's the stuff that there's a million tutorials, but I'll tell you what there isn't out there. There's not a million people out there on YouTube asking you if you're okay or getting you to kind of help get over that kind of stuff. Now, talking about you, because you've broken this drought, and you may not get it out or you may get it out for Songtember. This stuff doesn't matter. I know you're kind of on that path as well. You'd like to get it out, but now you switched.
And it's...
Go.
And I switched DAWs. I moved to Logic, and it's the first time I've used Logic.
Well, finish your other thought. Finish your other thought. We'll get to that.
I am not putting as much effort in, not effort. I'm not being particular and picky about this song as I would normally be about a song. It's just haphazardly. I'm slapping it together and I'm making it and I'm putting it out in a way that I like it. And it's not perfect and it's going to be full of warts and scars. And I'm putting it out anyway, just to get over the hump. I'm not going to be concerned about making it the most beautiful song I've written. I'm not worried about that. I just want a song out. I want to get past the shit so I can get to the gold. You got to dig through the shit until you get to the gold, and I'm digging through the shit right now. And I've had to make a conscious decision to do that because I've been in a funk for 2 years. So I've got to get past it, and the only way to get past it is to go through it. And the only way through it is to get dirty. And the only way to get dirty is to do it. And I'm doing it.
Yeah, totally. I don't do a lot of collaborations, Brad, because in the past I've worked with a lot of people and I've done session vocals and played in lots of bands. And it always got to the point that I was picky with people and wanted people to do it my way. So I just stopped collaborating with people. And for my Songtember song, working with Viv, even before I sent it to her, where I fell into a hole was, is this good enough for Viv? Right? So, and then I put all this pressure on myself for a whole week of just trying my hardest to get this going and then letting it go and then, fuck, I'm walking away from it. And when I first started writing it, I didn't have that. When I first started writing this song in Songtember, I went into it going, no, I know exactly what my goals are. I know who I'm writing it for. I know what I'm writing it about. Let's get it going. And then into the second week, I started going, oh, this isn't good enough for who I'm writing it for. She's going to laugh at this. She's going to think it's crap. And I talked myself into it. I don't know how the fuck I talked myself into that shit again. And it was a wasted week of Songtember. So it's my fault. I know it's my fault that it's not going to make it because she had plenty of time. And now, because of time constraints, she's got things she's got to do. Now, I'm not saying anything here to go, I wish it was coming. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit when it comes out, right? The most important thing is that it sounds great, right? So time constraints, I agree. Time constraints can be fantastic, but at other times, if you've got the ability to let them go because the song is always more important. Yeah. I want to play a song of yours that you didn't send me, and I know people have heard it a million times, you've heard it a million times, but in my opinion, this is one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. And it just is, right? And I feel like I have one of these songs as well too. Maybe I've got two of them. I don't know. But sometimes you just hit this, you just write this song and go, oh, wow, how the fuck did I write this? You know what song I'm going to play.
Yeah.
I don't even have to tell you. And most people probably here know what song I'm going to play as well. And if they haven't heard Brad before, get ready because this song's incredible. So I'm just going to play it and then we're going to come back and talk about it. I'm not even going to say what it's called. Let's just do it. Let's Oj. All right. You ready? Let's go.
Same old story. He's getting old and lives alone in a brick house. Down the road from me and never goes out. Waiting by a phone that never rings. He had a bird once, and every day his bird would sing a sweet song. Never flew away until one day it sang one final love song. And he loves until his heart broke. And he cried sometimes when the little birds sang their lonely love songs. Stares out the window down the road from me and watches the kids play. It's an old oak tree that stands between their homes with roots tangled in the clay. And the tears roll down a face that only tears have ever known. And all this time reflecting back a past could have fallen from an old man's nameless eyes. And he loves until his heart broke. And he cried sometimes when the little birds sang their lonely love songs. loves until his heart broke. And he cried sometimes when the little birds sang their lonely love song. Same old story. We're getting old and live alone in these brick homes. The curtains close and life goes on to the sound of a lonely bird's love song.
Right.
Thank you.
I'll tell you why I love this
I have
song.
to remember to keep my mouth closed. I always look stupid with my
That's
mouth
why I
open.
did it. Because you know me, I'm an absolute.
My me all the time.
All right, I'll tell you why I love that song. Because there's multiple layers to that song. There's multiple layers. It's punk rock. I can hear punk rock in there, right? It's simple. It's sparse. That guitar is its own melody. That guitar has as much value as the vocal line. Just as much. It's really important. If you took that guitar solo out of there, the guitar track that's being played, it's Dave playing on that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Dave Bahan.
Yeah, he's an amazing guitarist, right? He plays on all your stuff.
Yeah.
That's
I've been playing with them since we were 12.
Yeah. Now that guitar line is just as important as the vocal. The song's sweet. There's heartbreak to it. There's the melody line is just so sweet and wonderful, but it's simple. And I don't know how you wrote it, but we're going to ask. We're going to find out. Was there a lot of stress about that song? Was there a lot of pressure? Did you put in a whole lot of energy, or was this something that you kind of went, you know what, it'll do?
That song took years. So I had the first part. I had the same old story. Getting old, lives alone in a brick house down the road from me, never goes out, waiting by a phone that never rings. He had a bird once. I had that first verse and the chorus. And my mom would always say to me, play that bird song, play that bird song. So
The bird song.
I would play the as much as I could because I didn't have it finished. So my mom and I actually sat down after I had it for about 3 years. Sat down one night and I said, "Fine, I'm going to finish the song tonight." So my mom and I actually sat and bounced lyric ideas off of each other and finished the song that night with my mom.
Wow.
So because I knew I knew it was a good song, and I didn't want to ruin it with a bad second verse or a bad third verse. I wanted it to be good all the way through. And I was too afraid to mess it up. So I didn't want to screw the song up and have it ruin the song halfway through, where people would like the beginning but then hate the rest of it, you know? So it literally took 3 years to get that song out of me.
Dude,
And my mom had to pull it out.
yeah. Sometimes you need that. And I know exactly where you're going. If you listen to my first Dread Circus album, there's at least half, maybe just under half the songs where there's only one verse and it's repeated in the second verse, but sung differently. It's sung in a different melody.
Yeah.
Because that first verse was so good. Everything that I tried to write afterwards sucked. And that is one of my biggest problems writing songs. This one I've been writing with Viv, that's where I got stuck. I got stuck on the first verse. Sometimes, man, those that's
what I call it, the second verse curse.
The second verse curse. It's real. It is very real.
It's totally real.
And it's
you can
hard.
get that first verse and the chorus out, no problem, because that came with the melody, with the music that you wrote. You heard that melody. You got that first verse out. Now it's time for it to make sense. Now you have to actually pull it together and glue it all together. And now what do I say? Now what do I do? Now where do I go? Now, what's the melody for this verse? Where is it going to fit? How is it going to fit? What do I need to say here that's going to make that first verse more poignant or stand out more? And oftentimes I get stuck there, and I call it the second verse curse. I get stuck there all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure there's many other people like, and I've never heard it called that before, but I'm stealing that now, because here's the thing, right? And now when I try and write songs, I think of it like I'm hiring a prostitute, right? Because you're paying top dollar. Well, it depends on what kind of girl, but right, because it's legal here in Australia.
I've had both the $20 ones and the $500 ones. There's a big difference.
You've had $20 Helen, and you've all right. Yeah. So now, and because I've worked in the industry, I know too. If you're going to charge top dollar, right, you got to give top dollar. But when you're paying for it, okay, you don't want to come too fast because you've just dropped $600, and if it's over in 2 minutes, you're not getting your money's worth. So the thing is, and what's finding the balance of writing a verse that is lyrically outstanding and a real beautiful play on words, or just a wordsmith kind of, and not say it all. That is the challenge, because the hardest thing is because you write something so poetic and so wonderful, it unfortunately says it all in that first verse, and then by the time you get to that second verse, you're like, am I just saying the same thing again with different words? How do I extend it? How do I take it further? G'day, Colraker, in that Chatteroony. It's how do you have a method to try and break the second verse curse, or are you still it still smash it?
It still smashes me, but I do have a method of getting past it. I just write continually. Like I'll open up my Verse Perfect app that I have on my laptop, even though it's old and outdated, and there's no updates for it, and it's like a really weird app. It's a weird program. It's from McGill University, I think. It was put together by songwriters. So I write in there. That's just the notepad of choice for me. And even though I don't use all the functions it has, I use it to write. So when I get to the second verse, I write 1,000 words. And I think, okay, in there is something that's going to be part of the second verse that I'm going to use to springboard into the rest of the second verse. So I just keep writing until the lines start popping out, and I start getting the right line pops out, there's a thief in the night, whatever, something that pops out. Then I can take that line out, move it over here, and expand on that and make that the second verse. So there are ways to combat it, but again, it's about training that writing muscle. So you have to constantly be writing words down for all those letters to jumble together to make sense. You have to write constantly in order to be able to write and say what you want to say succinctly, quickly, and that fits melodically in your framework. That's the hardest part. Like I write prose very easily because there's no syllable constraints or melodic constraints. I can just say whatever I want. That's why a lot of my songs, I have jumbled like lines in there that shouldn't fit, that I end up forcing and shoehorning in because they need to be in there. So I get in trouble for it from my friends all the time. They always say that line is too busy and you're jamming it in there, but that's the only way I can say what I need to say in order for the next line to make sense.
Yeah, so it's hard. When you're a wordsmith, it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that brings me to, how much is too much? Like, have you got, as time has gone on, have you been able to objectively look at a song and go, all right, that sounds great, but I should start removing stuff? Are you at that point, or are you still just piling everything on? Because I know a lot
I'm piling everything on.
Yeah, but are you pulling it out?
Yeah, I'm gonna take this song I have for Song Timber. I've piled everything on it. I'm gonna redo the vocal track when I get the lead guitar back, and I'm gonna start pulling out lines. And the next iteration of the vocals will have some different lines in it, where I've been able to, because I've been able to sit with it for a week now, a little over a week. So I've been able to hear the lines I want changed and have an idea of what I want to change them to. So I know where I want the changes to occur, and I'm going to make those changes. And I'm going to make it fit a little bit better. It's still going to be shoehorned in, but I'm going to make it fit a little bit better, just a little bit. And as long as I can get it a little bit better, then I'll be happy with it, and I won't beat myself up over it.
See, this is the one. This is the one negative about time constraints. I feel that you don't get to sit back and listen to it over a period of time and hear those things that, in a year or two's time, you're going to go, man, why didn't I just take that extra week just to fix that? And most people will know. Every musician who's finished a recording will know this. It's really hard to stop your brain from doing it. There's always going to be something in a recording that you're going to hate, and you're going to go back. You'll never have that perfect song where every single thing in it, there'll be some bum note, not even a bum note, just the way it hit or the way your vocal was, or a word, the way you said that word. But that's where we get to the point where you go and see a band play. And over time, because they are jamming this song and they're playing it live every night, it slightly changes than the recording, right? It always slightly changes. And then I know for a lot of my favorite bands that I've seen live a lot of the time, like say Faith No More, when I do a Faith No More cover, I sing it like this live way that I've seen, and the album version gets ditched because of a new way that gets changed. Kim says they say the best songs aren't written, they're rewritten. Yes, because you're constant, and this is the problem with time constraints and such, because you don't get that chance to sit back and have a listen to it. And this is why, again, working with Viv, she was saying to me yesterday, she's like, I really don't think I'm going to be able to get it. And I'm just like, good. Let's not get it done in time. You know what?
Let it breathe.
Let it go, because it's so much more important. If I'm going to do my first collaboration with somebody who I look up to immensely, like Viv, I don't want this to be a fucking junk song. This ain't junk. This is supposed to be. This is something I've always wanted to do. Hang on, what's going on? Uh-oh, is the dog?
I thought the dog pooped. Oh, she's pulling the fur out of the carpet. Sorry. Yeah, I know why you're putting so much pressure on yourself working with Viv. I understand it. I would be terrified. Like terrified.
I'm not terrified. I'm not terrified of
I
Viv.
would be.
She's beautiful.
I would be.
Hello, Chris Lane as well. No, she's amazing. And you know, here's the thing, I don't need to have that fear. It's stupid. She's just Viv Sparrow's just a bloody person. Just a person, right? You know what I mean? We're all just people. So nobody should be put on that. But at the same time, when you listen to somebody, like if we did a song too, you know, I know I'd be sitting there, me and you, if we did a song and I collaborated some lyrics, I'd be sitting there going, oh, there's no way my lyrics are going to match up to Brad's. That's just my mindset. You just get into a mindset where you think this kind of stuff, and it's wrong. You don't need to think that way. Yeah. Right? Now, listen, buddy, don't you even come at me, motherfucker. I've heard about you working in collabs. I'm joking, of course. See, we're both joking.
Champ.
Hey, champ, the champ. Songwriting before recording, Brad. Are you ever going to be a person who like doesn't write something first on a guitar?
No, I'll always the song has to be able to stand on its own before I'll ever put it on tape. If I can't, like I said it, me and Dave said it when we were little kids. We ran into this guy. He had this huge guitar rig. He had all these settings that were like Bon Jovi, Tesla, all these settings where he was mimicking their exact sounds, and he couldn't do the songs without doing their exact sounds. And I said to Dave as we were leaving, because we were looking for another guitar player, I said, we're not, first of all, no, not that guy. And we're never going to be like that. If we can't do the songs with what we have, then we're not going to do the songs. Like, we have to be able to pull the song off with just our amps. Dave had no pedals. Any sounds he got was from his amp. Later on, he introduced the wah pedal, and that was the only pedal he ever used in the 25 years I've been playing with him.
See, I was
25
I
years,
was the same.
35 years, more than that.
I was the same, Brad. For the longest time, it had to be written on a guitar before it would become a song. It would be on an acoustic guitar or something. It would always be strummed somehow. But I've noticed over the last 4 years, I'm not doing that as much now, right? Because I'm sitting here in front of you guys, recording something on my iPad live, and it's hard to actually get the guitar and set it up and do it that way, right? I'm finding I'm writing more songs. Like last year's Songtember song was completely written in the DAW. This year's Songtember song, everything's been written in the DAW and playing the guitar riffs on the spot after the drums. I write more songs now with drums first than anything. I don't know how. Is it the right way?
I think I'll get to that point too once I learn the programs a little bit better, because I like the way you do it, and I like the way it turns out, and I would like to be able to do that. I just am unable to, because my skills limit me to just do it the old-fashioned way and not do it in the DAW. Even though I love what comes out of the DAW, I love the flexibility and the freedom of what you can achieve with working within the DAW and using, a piano part that's on autoplay and putting the chords together that way and sectioning it out. And I love the flexibility of that and the creativity of that, and that you can do different things that you can't do on guitar. I'd love to be able to work that way. I just haven't gotten there yet. But when I do, I will start utilizing that way of doing things, because I find a lot of the stuff you do in AUM, like when you're doing your demos and stuff, a lot of the stuff you do in AUM, I think, oh my God, that would be an amazing song. Like that noise and those chords, and that would, if I could take that and make a great chorus, that would make a great song. And I think that a lot when you're doing demos and stuff working in AUM. And I would love to be able to do that and get that kind of noise happening and get some droning sounds happening, and then get the song on top of it with all the ugliness underneath it and put something beautiful on top. And I'd love to be able to do that. And eventually, once I learn Logic a little better, I'll get to that point. I'm getting there. I'm learning it slowly, but I'm getting there.
All right, well, we're going to talk about Logic because it's been a thing. It's been a thorn, right? Because let's just play this song first. And hello to Manny and Hugh. G'day. Let's just play this song now.
Hey, guys.
Now, this video clip was done. This video clip was done by Russ. This is the Queen's Secrets. And at the end, Russ put in something at the end that says he basically put a bit of text at the end, and it's really hard to see, but it's in there. He basically says that Brad is a and you didn't see it, you didn't pick it up, and you just left it because you got terrible eyesight. So you just let it go. So now it's baked into the video forever that Brad is a and, every time I see this video clip, that's all I think about, unfortunately. So it's real.
I love it because of that. And it was to make a point because I trust Russ. So Russ sends it to me and I just post it on YouTube.
Well,
yeah,
we talked about this last time.
I do it anyway.
We talked about this last time. You sent the music to him, but it was screwed, and then he made the video and sent it to you, and you fixed up the music or whatever, sent it back to him, and then Russ said, "I'm gonna send it back to you. Check it this time, Brad." And you said, I remember I was in Clubhouse and you went, yes, I've checked it. And Brad and Russ said to me, he hasn't checked it because at the end of the video clip, it says that Brad is a right? So we know you didn't check it. So this was testing how much you bullshit, and you bullshit way too much. So anyway, let's play the song. See if you can find it at the end. This is The Queen's Secrets by Brad Example. That's Ode.
Made a deal hanging on by a thread. Compromises made, there's no hope left. How quickly we forget. The roads we take are the same to escape. When it's time to collect, there won't be nothing left except ashes and yesterday's regrets. Can't put out the fire using gasoline. Can't escape the flood by swimming upstream. Queen speaks in secret. All it takes is a whisper. Bring the kingdom crumbling to the sea. When it's time to collect, there won't be nothing left except ashes and yesterday's regrets. When it's time to collect, there won't be nothing left except ashes and yesterday's regrets.
Right. Now,
We recorded that song at 432 hertz.
I need to find, let me just mute this.
Yeah, it's right there. Turn up the. I can see it.
Yeah, I just saw it then.
You have to turn the brightness up.
I can't do that because it's on the iPad. I'm just going to try and get it. Have I gone? I've gone past it. There we go. Let's go. So it's about here. I can zoom in though. I just got to get it right. It's so subtle. So now I can't see it. I've missed it again. How
Pause it
did?
right there. Oh,
Hang on. There it is.
there it is. Yeah, you can adjust your. Yeah, there it is.
Never trust Russ when you once you've seen it, you can't unsee it, right? Coldacre says, "Why did you record it slightly flat?"
I recorded it in 432 hertz because I wanted to try that solfeggio frequency stuff, and it turns out people gravitated towards the song.
Right.
I wanted to see if it actually made a difference, if that 440 versus 432 was a real thing. And when I recorded that song in 432, people gravitated towards it really quickly, even though there's some like I I I have issues with some of the lyrics in the song, but it is what it is. I wrote it. It was a song I wrote and recorded in one day. And I did, and just because I wanted to try that to record it in 432 to see if it actually made a difference, if people felt it differently. And I think they did. And I think I should do more songs than 432.
Yes. I did forget to run the ad, so let's do that now, and I'll tell you what's coming up here on the channel. So you can avoid the ad by doing YouTube Premium. The ad's been run. You may or may not get an ad while we're waiting for people who may have got an ad. The opening hour this weekend is this. I'm going to go back and do some Dread Circus stuff to close out this month because why not? I haven't sung any of my own songs for ages on this channel and done that kind of thing. Exactly what Viv said. Plus, I just dropped a demo last night for a pretty cool app as well. If you haven't seen that, it was for this Crack. Whoops. It's for Crack. Oh, how do I do it? Over here, this one. There we go. Crack by Surreal Machines. So if you're into crack, go and get some crack and get into it. I actually had some fun with the video. I made a few jokes in it, and I think tonight I've got a demo dropping as well for something else, a chorus app, and that kind of stuff. This week, the rant, I'm deciding what I'm going to talk about on the rant, and it's kind of got to do with songwriting. We're either going to do a rant on 80-20. If you don't know about 80-20, it's a thing, 80-20. Look it up, 20-80. It's a thing, especially in songwriting and recording and stuff like that, and engineering and mixing. 80-20 is you'll spend 80% of the time working on the sound of a kick drum. For 80% of the time, you'll be mixing it, and only 20% of the people who listen to it will even know what a kick drum is. That's the harsh reality of shit. So, and we've talked about this with songwriting today, with putting so much heart into things that sometimes people just absolutely miss all that work you put into mixing down one kick drum. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody sits there and goes, I don't like this song because you didn't record it on a Rode microphone. Nobody does any of that shit because we obsess so much about this kind of stuff. Let's talk about doors, because part of the reason you've struggled with putting out stuff, I believe, has been your inability to just dive in and start using Logic.
Yeah, my fear of Logic.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
created
that was part of it. I was
you
terrified.
dug a hole. You dug a hole, and you kept, like, just so you guys know, we would sit here and Brad would go, this is when Logic came out on iPad, he would go, Jade, you should do more tutorials on Logic. And I'm like, dude, I've done so many tutorials. Pete's got so many. Just watch them. There's even tutorials in the app. And I would sit there and yell at Brad and go, just start recording in it, dude. And it eventually turned out to be that, didn't it? You just had to start recording in it.
Yeah. I had you on the phone. Thankfully, you helped me with that read write option on the fader in the mixing section. Little things that I bump into that I don't know how to fix. I at least have you and Dave I can talk to, and that'll help me through it, and Pete. And but mostly I found I was scared for nothing. Like I shouldn't have been as afraid to use it as I was. I was very afraid of it because it was so much going on that I thought I had to use it all. I don't have to use it all. I don't have to send everything to buses. I don't have to break apart my drums. I don't have to do all the things that you and Pete and everybody else does. I can just do it simple until I get comfortable with it, and then I can start getting a little more advanced with how I maneuver things around. And if I want to I want to send things to different sends and returns and buses, and put effects on over here and put a guitar and a vocal through that and have reverb once instead of having reverb on 3 different tracks. I could just send them to one track and have it in there once. and just how much it is in there. And it's just, I was so afraid of it that it prevented me from sitting down and plugging a microphone into it and hitting the metronome and the record button. And that's all I had to do. That's all I had to do. And I was so scared of it that it almost brought me to tears a couple times because I pay for it and I wanted to use it and I want to be good at it. But I talked myself into um, being afraid of how complex it is, even though once I started using it, those fears were quelled a little bit because it's not as hard as I made it out to be.
Yeah, because a door is a door is a door is a door is a door. It's just a different. It's just things moved around in different places, and we are.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. This whole show, I think, today has been really reaffirming the fact that we are our own worst nightmares when
Yeah.
it comes to songwriting. Because not only can we write some of the most amazing stuff, it's as soon as we stop picking on ourselves. Where do you think this comes from, Brad? Let's get psychological here. How do we get as a species to being such we're bags of blood, bone, and water, and yet throughout history, all the things we do, even war and all the stuff, it's monumental. It's amazing what we can achieve. How have we got to the point that we just shit on ourselves all the time?
Yeah. Beat up on ourselves. Self-doubt.
What is it? How have we got here? Come on, Dr. Brad, put on your stethoscope and I want to hear how we've got to this place. Go.
It's the conflict between critical self-doubt and immense ego. So nobody wants to have a giant ego. But guess what? If you want to get a fucking song finished, you got to have an ego about it. You have to be confident and sure and certain and absolute, and you have to make decisions that are going to be put down and that are going to be forever. But the song you record is now forever. So it has to be, you have to have enough ego that you can do it with, you have to be cocksure. But I don't know if it's because we're Virgos or it's just everybody in general. Then you have the self-doubt creep in that says you're not allowed to have an ego because that's unbecoming and horrible. You're not as good as you want to be or should be, even though you've been doing this for as many years as you've been doing it. So you start telling yourself and pulling apart the stairs you've built to get to that higher place. You're knocking the stairs out behind you like Jenga because you're battling with the concept of ego versus self-doubt. And I don't know who the winner is always ego, because the ego will get you past the finish line. Self-doubt will turn you into me and make you suffer for 2 years without putting a song out. And I'm a songwriter. That's who I am. I was born a songwriter. I didn't choose this. If I could have chosen, I would have chosen to be a lawyer or a doctor. I didn't choose to be a songwriter. It chose me. The skies opened up and the songs started pouring into me when I was 12, and they didn't stop. And that's who I am. I can't avoid it no matter how hard I try. I'm a songwriter. That's it. That's all I am. And if I can't be a songwriter, then who am I? And it's a struggle.
Now, there's a reason why I just asked you that and just allowed you to do all that, because I'll be clipping this after the show and saving this on my computer. And every time we're talking and you sitting there full of doubt, I'm going to send you this clip.
Yeah, good. I
'Cause you
probably
just-
need to hear it.
Because you just answered it yourself. Because this is the thing. We've all got it. We know. We know. We always know the answers to this stuff. We do. But we don't allow ourselves to verbalize it and say it and release it and accept it. Right? And
You have to have an ego, and it's hard
You have
to
to-
it's hard to justify building your ego up to the point where you can finish something and justify it without coming across like an asshole. But you have to have enough ego to say, I know this is right. I know what I'm doing is right. I feel that it's right.
Skyhooks wrote a song,
then
and
you-
the lyric is "Ego is not a dirty word." Right? Because it's not.
Well,
There's a
Beach
difference-
Boys too have "Hang On to Your Ego."
Yeah, there's a difference between ego and asshole. This is the
Yeah.
thing, right? Now, both
Yeah.
you and I have taken DMT,
Yeah,
and what is the
and
thing?
that helps.
Yeah, what is the major thing? Maybe not Joe Rogan. He saw green men, and didn't get the whole thing. But for DMT and anybody else who's done DMT, for
Yeah.
me, it was confronting your ego. Like I had to
Yeah.
my ego died when I took the DMT, and it was
Yeah, mine too.
brutal. I went through
Yeah.
a death. I thought I was dead. I
Yeah,
saw my
so did
ego.
I.
My ego died, and it was so confronting. It was like I fuck green men and all this bullshit that people talk about. The DMT is such an amazing drug. Is it a drug? I can't even call it a drug. What kind of a drug only lasts for 10 minutes and then you feel normal afterwards? But ego is definitely important. Like, do you think Freddie Mercury would have been as popular just with his singing voice without that ego, without that flamboyance, without the ability to just not give a fuck what people think? Right? But did people
just the
sit there
way
and go,
he
he's an
walks
asshole?
across the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
Just the way he walks across the stage.
You don't look
is
at him
so
though
full
and
of
go
ego,
asshole.
And he is cocksure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was an asshole, it was because of things that he said and did, or but not on stage. Like that's ego, It's when it carries over to off stage and you're an absolute fucker. That's when egos are wrong. So hello to Michael.
But it pushed him to make. It pushed him to make some of the most amazing music that the world has ever heard.
Yeah.
And that ego pushed him, and he got Bohemian Rhapsody out of that. He got, all these great songs, Stone Cold Crazy, like songs that are just weird out of left field that reinvented genres and reshaped popular music in ways that are immeasurable. But he had to have that ego in order to do it, and he had a huge ego, huge. Like you got to have an ego that big to where to do the things he did. You have to.
Yeah. Hello, Michael Songs and Gmay, and I saw someone else that I haven't said hello to. Leela, hello, Leela as well. Ego, yes, it's not a dirty word. It's just don't be an asshole with it. I mean, that's pretty simple stuff.
Yeah.
So now you've started to get over this bullshit trip with fucking with Logic, and it was exactly like I said, wasn't it? And like what Ivan Idea said, it's just hit record, just get your vocal track, and once you're able to get that, it's fine. These doors are tools, they're just tools at the end of the day.
I'm not as afraid of it now as I was 3 months ago. I am way less afraid of it now. Now I look forward to going in there and discovering all the things. Like I still have Pete's video pulled up on how to record bass on in Logic in one of my tabs on my browser right now. Hey, you guys. Yeah, dogs are going crazy.
But that's it.
So
The door's just the tool that you're writing into. It is not that important. It's not that important. It really isn't. And
hold on a second.
All right. Folks, just be happy. Just be happy that he put us on mute. Because when we're in Clubhouse, guess what? he doesn't put us on mute. And we have to listen to that yelling. And we're trying to have a conversation, and there's Brad just yelling, Bobby.
And then he started.
They got in a huge fight. This is the first fight I've ever seen them get in. All three of them were fighting. Holy shit.
If you know, you know. See, Cold Acre knows, you've been there. Ali knows,
yeah.
Leela knows. If you're in a clubhouse chat, Brad just starts yelling at the dogs. It goes on, and we're just sitting there, and he's yelling, and he has conversations with the dogs. Yeah, Jenny knows, and you're just having. You could be talking. You could be having a conversation about my uncle just passed away.
God.
It was
there a piece of food or something? No, not that I know of.
Now we can hear you.
Where
Yeah. They're all scared and scattered, and
right.
they got squirted with water, and they were fighting hard.
Right. So
anyway, back to the topic.
You can be having a conversation about somebody dying, and Brad will just cut in midway through and just go, Bobby, what are you doing? And like the whole conversation's ruined, but he never puts himself on mute.
Get off the street.
Yeah, get off the road, you stupid dog. And we're just like, what the hell is he talking about? He doesn't get up. No, exactly. He doesn't do anything about it. All right, so.
Is this interview still going? Oh.
Is the interview still going?
Yeah. I know they're talking about something else. I don't know what they're talking about.
I just.
Yeah, anyway, I was afraid of Logic, and I'm not anymore.
Yeah. All right. So, and that's the thing. It is the thing. You were just sitting there going, oh, but what about this? And I was like, dude, you're not even going to use that. You'd sit there and go, but what about this thing that I'm never going to fucking use? I'm like, dude, you don't even write music like that. You're a singer-songwriter. Just plug your guitar in, for God's sake. But, again, it's not, I can say this till the cows come home to you. It's like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Like, this is the thing, and again.
But it's good to have that support system of people like you and Ivan and Leela, and to reassure me. It is good. It is helpful.
Right.
And it's because Leela knows how it works. Russ knows how it works. So you know how it works. Pete knows how it works. Ivan Idea knows how it works. And you are all people that I can count on as my friends that'll help me through any issues that I have, that I confront as I'm going along.
Well,
whether you like it or not, I have to ask, because I have nowhere else to go. You
could always ring
when I
Microsoft.
do watch the tutorials. Yeah, I'm trying that next.
So
6 minutes before we go on.
So you've broken the drought. Are you excited about this song?
Yeah, I think it's a fun song. It's different for me. I think it's a little bit different. The guitar part is really unique and different. I'm playing some weird kind of chords that are a little bit bouncy and not like most of my stuff. It's got a different kind of vibe to it. I mean, the vocals are still me. The lyrical content is still me. The subject matter is still me, but it just has a little bit of a bounce to it that's different. And I think at the end of the day, if someone likes it, I'll be happy. If no one likes it, that's fine too. I just needed to get the song out of me because I'd been messing with it for so long and not doing anything with it, that I had to get it out, or else because it was a roadblock to all the other songs I have behind me. Then I have 1,000 songs behind me that need to come out.
Yeah, we got to get those out. All right, so we've broken the drought. We're going to get out of here now. But lastly, when is the Brad Example live show coming back? Because we miss your live performance. So what's going on with that?
The after party.
Yes.
I'm going to bring that back as soon as you got your Australia's clock changes back and America's clock changes back. So when everybody's time zones go back into winter mode or summer mode for you, I'm going to come back with 10 more episodes. And I'll have guests, and I'll have different people from different places come on, like I did with the last one. I'll have Dustin on this time. He'll come and do a few songs, and I'll get Mikey hopefully, and I'll get different people that aren't like I had Josh from on my last the last one I did. I introduced him to everybody and had different people, and I want to do that again this time.
Awesome. Can't wait for you to be back singing live and doing that because I love that stuff and all that. So, in conclusion, songwriting.
Songwriting, BJ's, Clone of Willies, Logic, Ego,
Yes.
confidence, of good friends that mean something to you, that have opinions and will tell you when you're being a pussy about stuff and not just get it done. And to not be afraid and to let yourself express yourself, which is super important. That's why everybody should be relying on everybody in the chat to help build their confidence and build their egos up so that they can complete things and make things and be proud of the things they make. And I think that's what this community is best at, actually. And what makes it sets it apart from many other internet communities is that it's a good place to get built up and feel yourself.
I'm going to keep it a bit more simple than that. Just fucking do it. Just fucking do it. Trust me. You're going to hate the song as soon as you finished it anyway. You're going to, no matter how much love you put into it, no matter how much fear or whatever to get to that point, you're going to look at it as soon as it's released, as soon as it's finishing, you're going to go, I wish I could do that better. It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
It will happen forever, no matter how good you get, no matter which producer you do it, because, you know, time constraints, factors that are out of your control, there will always be something that you pick up even tomorrow. The day after you finish something, there will be something new that you learn and you go, I wish I had have applied that to that thing I just finished 2 hours ago. Just do it. I'll tell you what, because I have songs that are out and people always request them off my first Dread Circus album, and it is such a poorly produced album. It is the worst album. I got it, my first Pentium computer. I did it all with a single microphone using a really piss poor version of Pro Tools before it got sold off, the last kind of version of Pro Tools. It's awful. It sucks. But there's so many people who just go, I love that song. I love that song. It just doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter if you like it or not. Someone will like it. It's just not worth getting tight. Now, all this is really easy to say. You're still going to sit there and have imposter syndrome and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But just go for it. Just do everything like you're doing it in front of, naked in front of all your grandparents. That is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Unless you like getting naked in front of your grandparents, probably see a psychiatrist about that. I can't help you with that. All right, that's a you problem. All right. So
Yes, it is.
in conclusion, just do it. Just make music, be happy, or make music and be sad. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Just keep making something. And if you can't make something, go make something else. Go do something else. Like this weekend, tomorrow, actually, I'm heading out to film an episode of Walk With Me, which I haven't done for ages, kicking off season 5. It's going to be so rad. It's going to be wild. So I'm super excited.
You have to live life to write about life.
Yeah.
And you can't write about writing. So your whole life can't be about writing. You can't write about writing. And I find that a lot of authors' first novels are about writing their first novel. And that always drives me mad. You can't write about writing, and you have to live life to write about life.
Yep. Get out, do it, do whatever. I don't know. If this has helped you, hit the like or do something. If you want to give a super chat or super sticker before we get out of here, help support the show. It's definitely going to get demonetized. It is what it is.
Sorry.
I don't go into that thinking about this, but Or if you're watching on the replay, want to do an after thanks, you can do that as well. Okay, let's get out of here. I want to thank all of our members who are members of the channel. I want to thank Brad for coming on, everybody who's been in and out of the chat today and hung out and said their words. We're going to go out and play this song featuring your guitarist, Dave. What before we go, let's talk about Dave Bahan. Why have you continued to work with this dude for all these years? Just give us one main thing about why you work with him.
Because I love him.
Perfect.
I love him.
Perfect. All right, this is called The Nightmare's Real, and we'll see you on if you watch a pre-recorded video, or I'll see you at the opening hour. Or you'll be dumped to the opening hour. So go and once you get dumped, once this show's over, go and set a reminder so you can come and join me for that this weekend. This is The Nightmare's Real, written by Brad Example, featuring Dave Bahan. Do the things that make you happy, folks. Mistakes make you better. We'll all rise together. Stay awake, and let's sub up to Brad. His links are in the description. Stay on the line, Brad, so I can help you try and fix your computer. Good God. All right. Let's do it.
Thank you for having me, Jade. And thank you for paying attention, everybody. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, you won't wank on. All right. Anyway, let's go. See ya.
We're on our way to Judgment Day. You sold your soul, ain't worth a damn thing anyway. There's a price to pay. The pain won't go away. Can't wash your bloody hands in the river, bury secrets in a grave. The world we're living in's fucked. It's all on fire and the villains won. The outlaws ran out of luck. The nightmare's real. The wounds won't heal. Been a good run. Bloodthirsty wolves howling at the satellites. The full moon brings out the madmen in the streets tonight. What's it all mean? Corrupt and bankrupt, it seems. Leading a flock of sleeping sheep to the slaughter, feed the chaos machine. There's a preacher saving souls on the street, begging for change, gonna make you believe. You're doomed if you do and damned if you don't. The nightmare's real. Bargain for deal. It's been a good run. There's a preacher